Welcome back, fellow ecom nerds, to the Nerds of E-commerce. It is Andrew here, and in today's video I thought we'd do something a little bit different, which is walk through how we scaled an online alcohol store to over $1 million in just over 2 years. So we've been working with these guys for just over 2 years, going on 2.5 years now, and we thought, why don't we show you how we did it from start to finish, so then you might be able to use some of these tactics for your own stores as well. I want to try and make this as fast as possible, so I want to keep it more all killer, no filler. So why don't we just jump in and get straight into it. I always say that there's two things that you need to focus on straight out of the gate. The first is search engine optimization. If you don't start on that from day one, you're going to get left behind, and you're always going to have to rely on paid advertising to get results. And as everyone knows, paid advertising is very, very expensive and getting more and more expensive as the years go on. So that's why I'm recommending that search engine optimization should be your number one priority when you're starting a store. Outside of that, the next thing you should be doing is working on your email list and growing that, and then also, kind of refining your email process, because as they say, the money's in the list, and that really hasn't changed in over the 10 years. Email is still probably the number one channel in terms of return on investment for making sales. The next thing you want to focus on is actually finding two paid channels. Now, why do you need two? So the reason for this is the first paid channel should be like a really low cost, top of funnel paid traffic. So we mean getting people to your website for as low cost as possible. So low CPC. So these channels could be Pinterest ads, these could be Snapchat ads, these could be Quora ads. It doesn't really matter. All we want to do is find where your relevant audience is and get them to your website for as low cost as possible. And one channel that a lot of people don't think of, just because it might seem expensive because it's part of the whole Google ecosystem, is YouTube. Like what you're watching right now in YouTube ads. You've all seen YouTube ads. It's not always so great for getting sales, but it's awesome for getting people to your website and also brand awareness as well. So there's a few things you want to think about at the top of funnel. Paid channel 2 should be more about the nuts and bolts of actually converting. So this would be more of your Facebook ads, your Google ads and things of that nature, maybe Bing ads if you're in the US where it's probably a little bit more prevalent. So you want to focus on actually finding another channel that you can retarget all of those people that came through your cheap channel, and that's how you will actually kind of cut your costs down. So you're not relying on Facebook ads or Google ads to drive people to the website or to your website or to your store and also make the sale. So this way you've got the second channel there to actually retarget, so you're cutting your costs down. Funny enough, for this client, it actually turned out that Facebook ads was the cheapest way to get people to the website. And then we use something like Google Shopping to actually convert them. We tried a few different Google products, like Google Ads products, but Google Shopping was probably the best. Unfortunately, being in the alcohol space, we can't actually retarget. It's against Google's terms of service. So we actually relied on Facebook for this, and Facebook ads does let you retarget people in this niche or in this industry. So we're using that as a retargeting strategy. The next thing you want to look at is social proof, or more like reviews in this case. So I'm talking about two different types of reviews that are on site and reviews that are off site. So something that might be off site would be something like Google My Business reviews. Something that might be on site might be something like Yotpo or one of those kind of platforms where people leave reviews on your actual website or on your actual products. So the next thing you want to focus on, and the thing that you want to get right, because it's super, super, super important, is making sure you have your analytics set up correctly. So in this case, we'd be talking about Google Analytics. I mean, there's other packages out there like Mixpanel and Kissmetrics and a few other things. But if you're on a low budget, then Google Analytics is fine to get started. The next one I'll also talk about when I talk about analytics is setting up your pixels and tags properly as well, because this will help you learn more about who your customers are, depending on what platform you're tracking them on, and you'll get more of a holistic view. And there's a few little tips and tactics I've got in terms of how to best go about putting these on here so you can get as much information about your customer as possible. Then the last thing is referrals and loyalty programs. So referrals and loyalty programs build a little bit of virality. And when we're talking about referral systems, which means, you could say, share this with a friend, and if they buy X amount, you get 10% off and they get 10% off. A loyalty program is a bit like what we have here for like rewards, like for instance, Qantas Frequent Flyer. You get Qantas Frequent Flyer points, which means every time you fly with Qantas, you get a certain amount of points allocated. They have partnerships with other companies like Woolworths. So the reason why you want to set up a loyalty program is because you can lock people in. Once people have a certain amount of points accumulated, they won't want to go anywhere else when they can just use those points to buy their products right on your store. So this is a representation of how we grew the customers' sales over time. So we started in actually 2018. So before we came on, they were making around 215,000 a year on online sales. They're obviously making a lot more in their bricks and mortar store. Because the interesting thing with these guys is they were just a bricks and mortar store. They were an alcohol store, like the ones you would see anywhere, more high street in terms of more premium products, but they were still, in the mix a little bit. We've been able to give them more of a little bit more of a brand presence online, and actually give them some individuality, and that's definitely helped as well. So instead of like we were saying, making just 215,000 or 200,000 on average before we started, we in our first year got them to $485,000 or just a bit over that, and a lot of that happened when we started in September. And then most of these kind of like sales boosts, that 200,000 came between September and December. So that was interesting. Then in 2019, we had our big year where we doubled down on a lot of different things, tried some new things, some experimentation, upgraded our email software, upgraded our platform. So we went from WooCommerce to Shopify, and it had a massive effect on how we actually were able to grow their sales. So we were actually able to scale this over $1 million. And we're going to show you a little bit more behind the scenes in their analytics as well. And also in their Google ads and Facebook ads, so we can give you an idea of just what happened. So we're legit. You can see we're legitimate. We're not just showing you fake numbers. These are real numbers. We're going to have to actually blur out the customer, but we can actually show you the real numbers. So this is what I was talking about before. It's the traffic building pyramid. Now you want to have different types of traffic, but the first thing you want to do before you bring the traffic in is choose the right platform. Like we said, we started off with WooCommerce. It did the job at the beginning, but then we moved to Shopify, and Shopify was a much more robust platform. It was easier to set up. The apps are fantastic. The ecosystem's fantastic. Support's fantastic. The themes are fantastic. Everything was great. Not to say that WooCommerce is bad, but just for in terms of even speed, like load speed and things like that, there were game changers. Even on mobile, like the mobile experience was just way easier. So that's why we like Shopify. And again, WooCommerce is not bad. It definitely has its SEO benefits and things like that, but I just find Shopify overall, in terms of, especially when you're on a budget, is really good. When you start to look at things like Shopify Plus versus WooCommerce, when you're getting bigger stores, that's when the lines blur a little bit more, because Shopify Plus is quite expensive. I think it's like 2,000, 3,000, somewhere in between, somewhere in that ballpark a month. And then when you have WooCommerce, obviously you buy it, and then it's up to you to make it faster. And so if you can do that, then obviously you're not paying that fee a month either. But if you're kind of like in the mid-level range to low, like your budget's not huge, then Shopify is fantastic, and we can't recommend it highly enough. And like I said, the next thing you want to do is focus on your SEO and email list building. You want to do this from day one. You don't want to have to wait. If you don't do SEO on day one and your competitor is doing it, eventually they'll be able to taper off their spend. Not that you should stop spending on paid ads, but you should definitely have the option to turn it down if you want. And if you want to do that, then you're going to have to go and work on your SEO game. The other thing, like I said, is to build up your email list. That will give you the best return on investment. And you want to make sure you keep building that, so you can have lead gen campaigns that aren't always just about getting people to buy. You want to get them onto your list, and then you can always hit them up later on. The step one is, so I'm kind of going reverse, right? So it says step 1, 2, 3, it should be the other way around, is build your paid traffic up. All right? You want to pick the right channels. Like I said, you want to pick 2 if you can, a really low cost paid traffic, something like I said, Pinterest or Snapchat, something of that respect, where it's only a couple of maybe 20 cents to 50 cents to get someone onto your website, and then you can use your other paid channel like your Google Ads, Google Shopping, Facebook ads, something of that nature to actually close a deal. So some tips around search engine optimization. We have a whole bunch of videos out, so you can check them out on our channel. We'll put some of the links to these in the description below. We recommend checking these out. We won't go through search engine optimization today. It could be literally a whole series of videos on itself, and that's exactly what we've done. So we're building those out. Go and check these out. They're going to keep getting added to every couple of months. We're going to put in a bunch of new SEO for e-commerce based videos. And I know a lot of you have been requesting these, and we'll do a full case study. Dave and I'll break this down. But today's probably not the right day to do it. But go and check out the videos we have in there, and we can keep, just keep checking them out. If you subscribe, so it's a good plug. Subscribe and like, and hit the little bell notification, and we'll let you know when we drop these, and you'll be the first one to find out. So the next thing you want to do is build your email list once you've started your SEO and started working on that. Now, the quickest way we found to do this is to actually start doing competitions. Competitions, especially like something through Gleam.io, which we'll show you in a minute, has this virality built in. So you can quickly just build up your email list, but also you can also start to build up other channels that might be important to your business, like Instagram, like YouTube, and other things like that. So we'll show you that in a minute. The other thing is ManyChat. So ManyChat is obviously a messenger plugin, and you can run Facebook Messenger competitions. They're getting a little bit old hat now, and probably not as effective as they used to be a few years ago, but they still definitely work. In terms of preference between what I think works really well, I still think Gleam hands down is the best, because you're guaranteed to grab those your email subscriptions, and that is probably the most important thing. So like I said, Gleam.io is probably the thing I would go with, and I'll show you right now what it looks like. So this is Gleam.io. This is the best competition platform, I think, anyway, hands down. So the cool thing about this is that you can, depending on what channel you want to grow of yours, you can actually build in different points that are allocated depending on what people do for certain channels. So if you want them to like your Facebook page, that could be 4 points. If you want them to like your Instagram page or follow your Instagram page, that could be 12 points. If you want them to actually refer a friend, it could be, I don't know, like 7 points, and then you get 7 points for every friend that refers. It comes through, the referral. We have a video on this as well. So we'll put a link to this in the description below, the video that we shot for growing your Gleam, or growing your subscribers through Gleam or through competitions. So I just want to reiterate again, because it's kind of really important, the concept about the paid traffic pyramid. We've got the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. So again, top of funnel should be super cheap, because all we're trying to do is get someone to view the content. We're trying to get someone to go from our paid ad to the website or check out the product. So again, Pinterest, YouTube, and Snapchat are probably some of the cheaper ones out there. Pinterest seems to be really good at getting people to the website. So is YouTube. I've seen cost per click prices for these between 20 cents and 80 cents, so super cheap compared to something like Facebook or Google, which is more like $3 or $4, depending on which platform, what keywords, or what audience you're targeting, etc., etc. Middle of funnel, so this could be something like Facebook ads in terms of lookalikes, or Google Shopping. So again, Facebook ads like lookalikes are really cool. If you can get enough conversions, then you can build Facebook ad lookalike audiences on these. Once you start building up your email list, you can also export your email list into a lookalike campaign as well. Now, again, we're not going to break down how to do Facebook ads in this video. We will do a full-length tutorial on it. So I think that's something that a lot of people have to pay for usually in these kind of like quote unquote guru courses, we're going to put it up for free. So we'll actually do a whole series on how to do Facebook ads from start to finish, from zero to hero. So this is the client's Facebook account. Again, we've had to blur out their details because we don't want you to obviously see who they are. But you can see here that we have, let's see if we go down, amount spent. We spent just over 9,000. We have got 644 conversions. So this is between January 1, 2020 and 17th June 2020. Our return on ad spend is 15.71. So again, you put $1 in, we're getting around $15.70 back ish. That's what ROAS means. So it's return on ad spend. So again, the best way to measure this is if I put $1 in, how many dollars am I getting back out? And you can see here in terms of website purchases, we've made $143,446 off. You can see here the 9,000 spent. So we spent $9,000, and we spent and we've made $143,446 back. So kind of nuts. And this has all been happening since all the crazy things in the world. I'm not going to mention obviously what happened, because I think everyone knows. Lockdown, all that sort of stuff, isolation. But we had some massive spikes in sales during this time. The CPMs for Facebook went down. Not to say that it wasn't some skill on our part either, but we pulled out $143,000 off a $9,000 spend so far this year. And if we look at the total that we spent last year for Facebook ads, when we actually scaled up to $1 million, we spent around just over $12,189, and we made almost $93,728 back. So again, quite a massive return on investment. So this was 7.69. Obviously, we learned how to scale better with the client, this year in 2020. But when we go have a look at ROAS again, and we remember that ROAS is the calculation of put $1 in, how much do we get back? We got $7.69 back for every dollar we spent last year. And obviously that fluctuates as well. This year it's going to be way higher than that. Even on Google Shopping, it's more around 15, between 13 and 15 in terms of ROAS. And this is our Google Ads campaigns for 2019 for the whole year, when we scaled up to over $1 million. So you can see here we had 1.6k conversions. It cost around $23,000, just under $24,000 in ad spend on Google. Return on ad spend is $13.24 or 13.24. So we put in just under $24,000, and we got $314,000 back. So again, cost $24,000, we got $314,000 back. So really good results. And this is how we scaled up. Like, we're using our two different paid platforms. Facebook was actually our cheaper one, and Google Ads was the more expensive one, but both played a massive role in getting us to that magic $1 million mark. And just some notes on this too. When we first started on Google, we actually realized that text ads for this particular company didn't work so well. And when we started doing Google Shopping ads, it did awesome. And I think that's kind of the case with most e-commerce brands. E-commerce is a very visual type of industry. People want to see the product. So I think Google Shopping is fantastic. Like, if you're going to start with Google ads, start with Google Shopping, or like I said, try YouTube ads. And that's why, again, like Facebook ads also does really well, and Pinterest ads, because it's all visual. So just think about that as well. If your product's super visual, you want to make sure that you're using a product that is also visual. So I'm actually creating a massive article on this on medium.com. If you want to have a read, let me know in the comments below, and I will actually send you the URL once it's up live, and you can go check it out. It's going to pretty much break down everything I'm talking about in this video, but probably in much more detail. And it'll explain, everything that we're talking about now. And it's something that you can use as a guide to refer back to. So like I said, if you want to see this, just mention it in the comments below and we will send you the URL. The next thing we want to talk about is reviews. Now, obviously, like I said, there's Google shopping reviews, Google My Business reviews. And there's also things that come through like Yotpo and those internal reviews for the product. And they're both really important, especially if you've got an e-commerce store and a bricks and mortar store. You want to have your bricks and mortar store probably on Google My Business. And then if you've got the e-commerce section, you want to have that, generating reviews through Yotpo. There are some other kind of offline, off-site review platforms as well. Here in Australia, there's productreviews.com.au. There's a whole bunch of other ones like Trustpilot, Yelp. So as I mentioned, reviews are super important because it's actually social proof. That's what reviews are. So the more reviews you can get, the better. We also mentioned analytics. So again, super critical. If you don't get this right, if you're not collecting the data in the right way, if you don't know how to segment data, if you don't know how to read the data, then you're kind of at a disadvantage, because data, all it should be doing is solving business problems. It should be, if you have a business question, the data should be able to answer it for you. If you don't have it set up in the right way, then it's not going to be able to answer the question. Best ways to do this is actually go in, and the settings are all in the back end of Google Analytics. You want to make sure that your e-commerce settings are all set up, so especially your advanced or enhanced e-commerce. You also want to set up your channel groupings, because what can happen is if you've got other third-party payment systems, especially like Shopify Pay, anything like in Australia we've got Zip Money and we've got Afterpay, and sometimes that can come through as an actual conversion channel and it's not really correct. It's actually a third-party payment gateway, so you want to make sure that they're separated out. You might want to separate your brand and generic paid search. Make sure that your social paid is all set up correctly. There's a whole bunch of different things you can do in here. Again, you want to make sure your goals are set up and that you've got your goal funnel tracking set up so you can see all of that happening as well. So analytics is just a massive topic, and we could spend pretty much a whole, maybe 3 or 4 videos talking about this. But I'll leave probably the best resource I know of in the description below in terms of how to start setting this up. And then you can take that and run with it, and like I said, it'll also be on the article I'm writing, so if you want to wait for that, you can. If not, if you're impatient, you can just go straight in and get it from the description. Now, in terms of analytics secret weapons, I love Quantcast. It is especially Quantcast Measure. It's a free tool. You can put it up on your website and you can find out a whole bunch of things you wouldn't know about your customer from probably any of the other analytics channels you have. So this can tell you where your customers or viewers have been before they landed on your website, and you could use these things in terms of like targeting for Facebook ads. You could do things like see, maybe their shopping habits, what they buy, what industries they work in. There's so much data in here. The other thing is I recommend doing is, even if you're not actively advertising on these channels, you should definitely have them the tags set up on your website. Things like LinkedIn Insights, Twitter ads, and things like that. So the Twitter pixel or the Twitter tags, and especially your LinkedIn Insights tags. The reason for that is, especially for something like LinkedIn, you'll be able to see what industries and sometimes what job titles your visitors actually have, which again helps you with targeting later on. So if you want to do Facebook ads, you can then even narrow it down to their industry, profession, or job title, job role, when you're actually setting up the audience targeting. So this is why, even if you're not using these other channels, it's kind of cool to have them set up so you're collecting at least the data so you can use that for the channels that you are actually running ads in. And the last thing I'll mention on this video is referrals and loyalty programs. So referrals, I think you kind of understand, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you share with a friend, maybe a referral code, they buy something and you get a certain percentage off and they get a certain percentage off, win-win. And then obviously the more people do that, the better. You get that virality effect going, which means you might have only paid to acquire one customer and then they've brought 4 other ones into the business for you. So they've brought 4 other customers with them. Loyalty programs, again, work really well, especially points-based ones, or maybe you buy X amount, you get your next one free. It's probably going to separate or stop someone from going to your competitors, because like I said, if they've got the points built up in your loyalty program, or they've got the rewards ready to go, like they're maybe one sale away, why would they go to a competitor? It's how you kind of lock people in. It's a good tactic, and it also builds trust. Especially, don't always just kind of use it as a tit for tat thing, like where they give you something, you give it to them. Loyalty programs are also a great way to actually build a really good experience for your customer. Like say they have a birthday, maybe you want to send them something for free. So make sure there's some perks in there as well. It's not always just sales based, like sales reward kind of system. Make sure you're giving them some perks, some gifts and things like that for maybe some special occasions, or just because they're awesome customers. It's just a great way to stand out from your competitors who don't sometimes really give a damn, and they definitely come across that way where they just don't really seem to care. This is how you can stand out. And just a note on that, I think some of the platforms I would definitely recommend is something like Referral Candy or Smile.io. Smile.io definitely integrates really well with the Shopify platform. So this is it here. You can see really cool. There's actually an app you can download for Shopify as well for this to set up all of your loyalty program. Integrates with a whole bunch of these things as well. So you've got MailChimp, Privy, Gorgeous, which is kind of like a chat system, Klaviyo, which is like email. So really good in it because it's got that integration. So again, this is probably one I would recommend if you're going to look into referral programs or loyalty programs. So that's pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to show you how we break stuff down step by step. Now, obviously this didn't all happen overnight. It took 2 years. It took a lot of testing, experimentation. It took a lot of, just long hours and blood, sweat and tears as well. But we've been able to replicate this. And this is when you're onto a winning formula. We're able to replicate this for other businesses as well in terms of this step process. And that's when you're onto something, is when you can actually take it from one customer and their online store and actually take it to another one and still get really good results, and then obviously do that again and again and again, and it becomes a system. And systems are the things you want to build, right? Because they're a little bit more predictable. Not saying that it's going to always be 100% cookie cutter. It's not always going to be exactly the same as the last one, but at least you'll know kind of what to expect. So that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, it's been more of a walkthrough. We're going to actually do some tutorials and break down some of these big topics. Like I said, we've already started on search engine optimization. We're going to do one on paid, so we're going to probably start with Facebook tutorials. We will actually do some stuff on analytics and how to set that up properly as well. And of course, we will definitely do stuff on email. But we've got a whole playlist on setting up print on demand, which is the thing we're going to be showing you how to build a print on demand website, and we're going to grow it using these actual techniques, this system that we developed, from testing all the way to scale. That's what we'd like to do in the next couple of months, show you how we went from 0 to 100. And you're going to see us do it all the way through. You're going to see all the mistakes as well, not just all the sunshine, happiness, and rainbows. things go spectacularly wrong sometimes, and we don't want to cover that up and sweep it under the rug. We want to like be very open, because it makes you guys feel better too. Because if you see some guy going, oh yeah, like it was so easy, and then you do it and make mistakes, it's not really cool, and it's not true life. Even professionals who've been doing it for 10 years like us, we still make mistakes. So we want to be really transparent in terms of showing you everything that we do. So like I said, that's it. If you really like this video and you can't wait to see more of this stuff, definitely give us a big thumbs up. Hit, or smash, I should say, as David says, or destroy, maybe a better word, that like button, because it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it means we know that you like our content and you want to see more of it. If you, again, want to make sure that you're the first to know when we drop these things, maybe it's our next Facebook tutorials, or whatever it is that you think that you would like to watch next, just make sure you subscribe to our channel, and also hit that little bell notification, and that will alert you to when we start dropping more videos. So until next time, thanks so much for sitting through this, and we can't wait to break this down more and kind of make this a little bit more chunky, and a little bit more actionable as well. So take care, and we'll see you next time.